How's it going there, everyone? It's Mr. Zen over here bringing you guys a brand new segment for today. And for today's segment, guys, we are going to be talking about Spirit Blade Mountain episodes 6 through 12. And I have to honestly say, guys, that this anime was very different from the HAL animation studio that they actually produced, or helped produce, I should say, due to the fact that this anime was more for story, folks. I personally saw that there was action, don't get me wrong, but in honesty, guys, I didn't really necessarily say there was a villain involved in all these episodes. Necessarily, they do get, I would say, small antagonists, but they're not necessarily an overall villain throughout the whole entire story, folks. This anime itself, to me, it seems like a story of like Journey to the West, but for like great sages. And honestly, the story itself can really expand itself for more future novels or anime seasons, due to the fact that from episode 6 through 12, guys, all it was just basically training Oriko. That's it. It was just training Oriko all throughout the entire 6 episodes, and nothing necessarily really did happen. Granted though, it's not necessarily bad that you could say that nothing really happened. It's just the fact that they're giving so much exposition for the character Oriko that they're really making him stand out to the other characters that are around him. All the other disciplines that joined Oriko, they're already at like these high stages of themselves, but that's because the way that their cultivation is meant for is that, you know, when they're going to train to become this great new deity, you know, you get to choose your own path of cultivation. And for Oriko's path is very, very different from every single one. To me, it seems that Oriko wants to be like this really high, powerful deity that's like really progress, with that can like defeat enemies at first. Like that's the way that I see Oriko. That he wants to be the best of the best. That's why he's taking his time to do everything, while everybody else is advancing to the next stage and going on and leaving Oriko. To me, it seems that Oriko himself is like an underrated character, but his underrated character is also due to the fact that he has this void spirit base, and this void spirit base is basically that, think of it like ki. He can't contain ki in his body, and that's what they were kind of explaining it throughout 6 through 12, that since he can't gather you could say that I believe it was Reiki, he can't gather the Reiki inside his body. It basically kind of just like the minute he gathers it, it kind of expels out. So he's basically like, he can gain as much Reiki as he can, but it won't stay in his body. And that's what he's basically been training, so he can harness his own ki in his own body. And Reiki in his own body. And like I said, it's very, very entertaining to see how they actually went along with it. You know, Oriko training, going to doing these baths so that way his body gets prepared. He's actually studying along the same time. You know, like you're just seeing all this, and at the same time, folks, he is actually also learning how to train to be a swordsman by like near the end of the episodes. Like around like, I believe it was like 11 or 12, he started to train on swordsmanship, which kind of really doesn't make any sense why he would train for swordsmanship. But I think that's more of the fact that it's just to explain that he wants to be the very best, kind of like Ash Ketchum. Like honestly, Oriko himself seems like he's trying to be the most OP character. But like I said though, it's very entertaining to see how they're going around with it. And honestly, I would say that I found this anime enjoying. Yes, granted, there was a lot of dialogue that was involved. Like holy snap, sometimes I kind of fell asleep after watching a couple episodes due to the fact, you know, they just would be talking non-stop. But that's because, like I said, this anime is not actually necessarily action based. It's more of an adventure based anime. And I have to say, for the Winter 2016 anime, this anime, I would say actually it's still underrated, you know. And I would say give it a good chance and watch it. That, like, for many people. And honestly, Ray Kaizen is actually very interesting, as I can't wait for season 2 to come out, because I want to know what happens more with Oriko and the side characters. Like I said, it's just barely the beginning. Like, I just can't wait to see what more challenges they have to do, because at the end of episode 12, folks, they literally have to just basically have like these brand new tests they can advance to a new stage, but they have to take 1,000 lessons in like, or 1,000 tests in order to advance to the next stage, which goes along to say as to like, what the heck, you know, just how much more tests do these people need? And honestly, the cultivation process is honestly, it's just taking many tests as you possibly can. Basically, your whole life is a test. That's what I basically see, and they're trying to see what kind of person you're trying to become. Basically, like these sages that are in training, they're able to live to like 200 to 1,000 years, or 100 to 1,000 years. It doesn't matter. But these sages are able to live so long that that's what they are always taking these tests, because their life itself would be meaningless if they're just able to live that long. So they're constantly taking tests to improve and better themselves and change society. And honestly, like after watching a couple of episodes, you kind of see that each of the sages that they've been training, you know, they are going in a different route, but that's because the way that they are meant to be, their personality, their traits, their powers. Like let's take that fat character Bunho, for instance. He's a swordsman, but he's so powerful, but he doesn't necessarily know that, because the sages themselves, they don't necessarily argue and get frustrated and fight evil enemies, because of the fact, you know, they're always just studying. And that's what Oriko kind of explained to Bunho in one of the episodes, the fact that, you know, you have this great power within you, but yet you don't know how to get agitated, you know, so I have to bring it out. And that's the thing about Oriko's character. He loves messing with every single character that always comes out. He knows how to make them angry. He knows how to get them to the point that they actually break character. Like if these within a serious character, he would actually make it to a point they would break them. But I think that's because of the fact that his teacher Obo, herself, is actually another undeveloped character as well. Like there's so much mystery around a lot of these characters that it goes on to say that this journey that all these sages are going to could really expand to a long-lasting series. Reikaizen really could last, guys. Honestly, like I literally see it as like the Chinese version of One Piece, but instead of pirates, it's literally about sages. And that's what I technically see. Like I said, there's no villain yet. And remember, One Piece never had necessarily a set villain in the beginning of this you could say the Paradise Saga. So think of it like that. That's the way I see this anime itself, that it could still last long. And honestly, I stayed to it to the end, and I could literally say that this anime, like all the characters themselves, any of them could become an antagonist. Like honestly, like, and also they're still involved with many sects that are around. Not sects, you know, SECT. All these other sects that are around. There are other, you could say, the cities involved in the Sage world, or the Spirit Blade Mountain world, wherever they are too. I think they're like in another higher dimension, honestly, because I never really see any regular people around there. So most of the time that they're really talking to is really sages themselves. And honestly, there was one particular episode where they showed Obu fighting one of this other sect, but that's because this other sect was actually harnessing people's lives as like a training method to like, I would say, gain immortality, as you kind of say. And Obu kind of figured that out, and that kind of led to like an antagonist for like at least an episode or two. But that goes on to say that sect itself could be an antagonist for like the next season. Like I said, the way that they set up the story is still perfect, you know. Like, it could go in any direction that it wants. It could set up as a villain, and which, by the way, there was a couple parodies that I kind of saw, and that was, oh my god, I believe it was Ray. I believe, yeah, it was that one character. Yes, it was Ray. That one character that started from episode 1. Her backstory was literally Naruto's backstory. She has the 9-tailed demon fox trapped inside of her, and that's why she can't become one of the sages themselves, because she's already all powerful. So basically, like, it just, like, I honestly thought that was a parody of Naruto itself. I thought it was hilarious, but then I have to remember this is a story within itself, so it's very different from what it actually is meant to be. But like I said though, folks, there are so many great things about this anime that I could still talk about, but in overall general aspect, this is a long-lasting anime. And yes, there is a lot of dialogue, and yes, you know, some of the parts gets really repeated and does get tedious after watching it a couple of times. But you know, stick to it, and you will see that as an overall aspect and general of the story, I would say it is entertaining. You know, it's not shown in cliche actually. Like, honestly, when you're watching this, it's due to the fact that, you know, there aren't that many battles, which I personally think that's what it kind of needed. I think that's because of the fact that they don't have a villain that really kind of sets itself apart, honestly. And also, you know, what happens when they become a deity? Do they still continue? Does the story continue on? Like, honestly, like I said, this is an adventure story. You're literally watching like an epilogue of a freaking long-lasting journey, folks. Like, honestly. But Oh man, what else is there to talk about? Besides the fact that, you know, there's no villain. No villain at all. But that's it for today, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed this segment, and as always, guys, if you guys enjoy my content, give a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want, check out this anime, and let me know down in the comments below as to what were your thoughts on this anime in general. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day. But this is Mr. Zen, signing.